So adding the same number to each side of an equation produces an equivalent equation. So when you add, for example, you have A equals B, and when you add the same number C to both sides, the equation still be equivalent or be equal to each other. Similarly, for subtracting property, if you subtract same number from each side, the equation will not change. It will be still an equivalent equation. So subtracting the same number from each side of an equation produces an equivalent equation. Now we are going to do the examples related to this property. Solve x minus 7 equals negative 6. We are doing the opposite operation to solve for x. So the opposite operation is add 7 on both sides. So when you add 7 on both sides, this 7 and 7 cancel, and then x will be equals to 6 minus 6 plus 7, that would be positive 1. And when you check your solution, which means that you're going to use this x equals 1 and plug it into the equation. So the equation is this, that's our original equation, and you're plugging it 1 here, and 1 minus 7 equals negative 6. 1 minus 7 is negative 6. The other side is already negative 6, so the answer is negative 6 equals negative 6, which is true, and that's going to be your right answer. That is x equals 1. The next one is letter B, when you're solving for y. Again, whenever we solve for a variable, we always try to make the variable on one side and the numbers on the other side. So we need to bring this guy on the other side. So we are going to use the opposite operation here. So the opposite operation would be negative 3.4 on both sides. So we're going to do the negative 3.4 on both sides. So 0 minus negative 3.4, that will give us negative 2.9. You can do this in a traditional way when you're subtracting the two numbers. So subtract negative 3.4 and 0.5. So 14 minus 5 is going to be 9, and here you're left with 2, so negative 2.9. So that's your y value. Now we're going to check this. So to check the solution with this one, you're going to do is replace the y value. So this is my original equation. So original equation is this. And then this y will be replaced with its value, and that's going to be negative 2.9 plus 3.4. That's going to be equal to 0.5. So this plus this is 0.5 equals 0.5, which is true. And this means that this is my right answer that I'm going to box. Remember, whenever we are going to do these type of problems, always box your answer so that I would know that this is what you mean as your final answer. Next is letter C. Solve for h. You're going to solve for h. It means you're going to get rid of the 2 pi. So negative 2 pi on both sides. H will be equals to 3 pi minus 2 pi, and that's going to be just a pi, and that's going to be your answer. You're going to still check it with your original equation. So original equation is this. You're going to use the h value. Pi plus 2 pi equals 3 pi. So 3 pi equals 3 pi would be your answer. So this is true, so that's why we call it h equals pi will be your correct answer. So you're going to try on these actually the six problems on the bottom here, and then we will match answers, and I'm going to give you a few minutes to do number 1 through number 6. So let's look at number 1 here. So you're going to subtract 2 on both sides so that you can have the b by itself, and the answer would come up as -7. When you check it, you plug this 7 back into the equation here and get -7 plus 2 equals -5. And this will give us -5. So -5 equals -5. That's true, and that's your answer. For number 2 here, you're going to have the g by itself. So the opposite operation of -1.7 is adding 1.7 on both sides. So when you add 1.7 to -0.9, that's the difference is 0.8. Again, for checking, you plug this into the main equation here. Then you're going to get 0.8 minus 1.7. That's going to give you -0.9 equals -0.9. So that's your answer. For number 3, you want to get the k by itself. So adding 3 on both sides. So you get -3 would be -6. Okay, it's -6. Checking it back, you're using the original equation here. For k, you're going to plug it in -6. So -6 plus 3. This side -3 and this side -3. So -3 equals -3. For number 4 here, you add pi on both sides. R equals 2 pi, and then checking it back same way. Let's talk about number 5 here. So you're going to get t by itself. So add 1/4 to both sides. When you add 1/4, this -3 plus 1 will give you -2. We could add this easily because they are same denominator. If there will be a different denominator, then we have to do some more steps on it. But anyhow, this makes it easy for us. You can have the answer as -2/4, or you can reduce it to -1/2 because you can reduce that. Now, when you check it back into the main equation, rather than using the simplified fraction, I use the -2/4 because I know that in this one I have here 4 on the bottom, and I chose carefully when I have a 4 on the bottom. So this is the one I plugged it in here. So we do anything we can to make our steps easier. So -2, -1 will give us -3/4, and this is -3/4 on the other side. So that's true, and we're going to say that this is our answer, either this way or that way. Number 6. So we are going to now subtract 5.6 on both sides. Z equal -13.6. Check. Plug it back in the original equation. Both sides came out as -8, and that's your answer.